If you look under the modelling table, you'll find my cupboard of shame, which is full of part-finished projects. I think it's only right that I should dive in and bring one out and finally finish it. This is a Fujimi Honda CRX. They got a long way along before I gave up on it. The problem was I hit it with the spray paint and that black just did not settle evenly. As you can see, I put a lot of interior details in it. There's parts in there from my JDM and race detailing sets. And that's all pretty much done. There's nothing I need to add to that. I just need to do something about the paint. It didn't go on evenly, and the finish in various places is not great. So I think I'm going to lean into that. The owner has been respraying it after wee bits of damage. So there's sections of filler that have been primed over. I picked some of the worst areas for paint finish and I simply brushed on some grey primer. With the car a little worse for wear, I wanted to add a few more details before I put it all together. First thing to do was silver up the inside of the headlights. Whilst I was doing this, I spotted another error of the spray paint, which is that it had missed some of the lower sides of bits of the body and the insides of the wheel arches and the like, so I went over those with black primer. Maybe they were older fixes that are now a little closer to being finished. I painted the rear wing flat black as well, and it was going to go on later in the build. I didn't have any of the clear red or orange that the instructions called for the indicators, but the wet part did a good job of thinning out what I did have. The rear hatch window got flat black instead of the smoky grey that the instructions called for. Again, that seems to have worked just as well. I dry brushed the underside with sand and then applied some black pigment. It's supposed to be coal powder, but let's call it brake dust. Applied that to the wheels. The longest job was definitely putting all of the transfers on. when the transfers had settled and I'd put some satin varnish across the car to seal them in place, then I could finally put it together. The last things to fit were the sporting door mirrors and the tow hitch on the back. And there you have it. I've rescued this car from the cupboard of shame and now it can go onto display. It's not great, it's not show standard, but I used weathering powders for possibly the first time, so that's something that goes in the repertoire for future reference. And it's one less thing clogging up that there cupboard. So, until next time, happy modelling. Go on, finish that one you put aside 3 years ago, like I've just done. And I'll see you next time.